What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, yo, it's Nate Dogg, 916, coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, man, y'all know what to do. Hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell if you want to keep catching my content, man. Long live Joshua Mason. Yeah, long live Joshua Mason, man. So how y'all guys doing, man? I just got off work. I started to make another video. I'm going to post this one tomorrow morning on my way to work, trying to get ahead a video or two. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the state of gang activity today in America, right? And we're not going to talk about just in America, right? Because, we're not going to talk about America, right? Because I don't know what happens in other states in America. I've never lived in other states as a gang member when I was a gang member in other areas. I don't have to witness what's going on in other states as a gang member. However, I do have news channels. I do have broadcasts. I am connected to certain people from a whole lot of different states that I do get updates and conversations and, you know, the regular relationship stuff, right? When I was a kid and we were gang members, I know a lot of people like to think that gang members are just thugs that, you know, cause problems and do violence and all of the above, right? But let me give you a little bit. If you've never been a gang member or never been around gang members, let me give you a small peek hole into the life of a young gang member from Sacramento, California, mind you. I'm not trying to say that this is how everybody got down. I can only speak about how the people around me and the people around my circumference got down, right? And one of the things that drew me to the gang, and it didn't even really start as being drawn to the gang. Like the first kids and young people that I clicked up with, shall you say, and was in the hood with every day. And these are kids that I grew up with. Kids that, like me, lived in predominantly fatherless homes and had mothers that were drug addicts or too occupied with whatever they had going on to be paying attention to what we were doing. And that's not all of us, but some of us, you know what I mean? It's a mix and a match. Not very many. I can't remember any of my childhood friends that were involved in the gang. I can't remember any of them coming from two-parent households. Not one that I can remember. And so then there was a sense of camaraderie, right? There was a sense of protection. Like there was no males. I had my big brother in my situation, but a lot of them didn't have males in their lives that would protect them, that would teach them how to fight and teach them, well, not necessarily how to fight, but how to defend yourself and how to, if other bigger kids or adults accosted you, were there to protect you from all those things, right? We just had our homeboys, right? And then as we got older, our homeboys and our neighborhood, it turned into being in the neighborhood that happened to be a gang neighborhood. And growing up there, you like matriculated into the gang. It's like going from kindergarten to first grade. You matriculated. Nobody asked you if you wanted to be a part of it. You just were around your homies. That's what y'all did, and y'all represented y'all hood. And for the first part, it first started out with just trying to make sure that the hood was good. Like there wasn't nobody outside of the hood coming and causing drama in the hood. There wasn't no other drug dealers coming and selling drugs in the hood. You start out getting the taste of the hood life and the endorphins when the older homies are around and sitting around playing dominoes or whatever, and they ask you to go to the store, get them a pack of cigarettes, get them a drink, and they let you keep the extra money when you're like 9, 10 years old, right? And back then in my days, a kid can go in the store, a neighborhood liquor store and get a bottle of drink, all you gotta do, especially if you had a name of one of the known dudes on your lips, like, oh, whoop-de-whoop told me to come up here and get bop, bop, bop. Oh, okay, yeah, here you go. Easy, right? Cigarettes, alcohol, easy back then, right? Obviously, there's a lot more restrictions and eyes and cameras everywhere now, so it's not as easy for kids, thankfully, because I have kids. But it started out like that. Then it started out as, oh, here, youngster, take this bag over there to that guy, and boom, boom, boom. So if you really look at it, the adults were taking advantage of the fact that minors won't get in as much trouble as adults, so let's use the minors to do our illicit activities, right? And we went along with it as kids because, hey, the OGs let us hang out. You know what I mean? We're not hanging out at the park. We hanging out, if we are hanging at the park, we in the back of the park with the OGs. You know what I mean? We hanging out with the gang members in the hood. And eventually it comes to a part, well, okay, when you gonna put in some work for the hood? If you repping the hood, you put any work in. Because my neighborhood was more of a, you putting in work to be down with the neighborhood. We not gonna jump you for you to be part of our neighborhood. We grew up with you. What do we look like jumping you into our neighborhood? You had to be from our neighborhood to be from our neighborhood, to represent our neighborhood. It's not like now these days where I don't know how they're doing it even in my neighborhood anymore, but I still think my neighborhood still does the same thing. Is you got to be from the hood to be representing the hood. You can't just come from somewhere else and be like, oh, I want to get jumped in and be from your hood. It didn't work like that. I mean, so it started out as a sense of community, and then obviously the gang banging part took over to where not only were we trying to protect our hood, we were trying to encroach on other neighborhoods. And then I look at it as the man I am now, and I think, well, were we trying to expand our territory when we go in and try to sell drugs and do other things in other people's neighborhoods? Were we really trying to expand the territory that we had? Because it was always the neighborhoods that were close by that we were going to. We weren't going all the way across town to Garden Block. We wasn't going all the way across town to Meadowview. We wasn't going, we from the north. So we was going around in the north, right? But one thing we didn't do, and it was a staunch rule, a real rule, is we didn't, like, if I seen one of my enemies outside, from the fighting days to the shooting days to the pack you out days to the whatever days, right? If I seen you outside and you was with your girl, I would make sure that I made eye contact with you. I would make sure that you saw me. And then I give you that, yeah, that look, yeah. Like, basically, you know, I'm giving you a pass because you with your girl, or you with your child, or you with your mama, right? With any of all the above, you get a pass because civilians aren't involved in our bull crap. So I'm not going to involve civilians in our bull crap. I never one time in my life as a clouded judgment gang member excuse me, did a drive-by. Never. I never drove by and shot into a dwelling just because I thought the enemies lived in there. A lot of our OGs used to be like, if you want them, get out and walking down type situation. Not that it was good advice, but it was moralistically stick to the morals of the gang type stuff, right? Just like I tell people, there were rules in prison. Even though people think it's just a ruleless society, no, there's rules in prison. There were rules in the streets. You couldn't do certain stuff. I got in trouble in my neighborhood for shooting my own homie in the leg. You know, because he was 3 times my size and 10 years my senior, and he decided to put his hands on me. Well, I wasn't built like that at the time. I was a kid, but I had a 38. But then I couldn't sell drugs in the hood for like, I think 90 days after that. I think that was my punishment. But my point is, I said all that to say this. It's like, these days, as we can all see from the horrible situation that happened in Stockton, where those young kids horribly were lost. And my condolences go out to all their family members, their parents, everyone involved. Like, yeah, all the other kids that were there that had to witness it, because that's a very traumatizing event. I don't understand it though. I don't get it. Like, because I heard somebody saying this morning on a video that the person, well, one of the people, I don't know if it was one or three or what it was. I hear so many different stories, but I heard somebody reporting that one person walked into the place and looked around before he started opening fire. So you mean to tell me that somebody walked into a place and saw a whole bunch of kids and still opened fire? They didn't just drive by and saw somebody they knew and started busting. You walked into a place and knew it was full of kids and still decided to let loose. Just wanton disregard for our young life. Now, obviously, I don't agree with gangbanging no more. I don't agree with what it does to our youth. I don't agree with the lives that it's taken from us, these children that just happened, and the kids that have been dying for years and years and years. I no longer agree with it. I do understand the community aspect of why kids start to get involved. Well, at least used to start to get involved. But now it's come to something different. It's morphed into something totally different, to where somebody with a clear conscience think it's okay to walk into a child event and start emptying their weapon. So no, Nate Dogg 916 does definitely not condone that type of behavior. Children and women are and were and always will be totally and 100% off limits to anything that got to do with anything. Like, I don't even directly speak to my homeboys' wives until my homeboy opens the door for us to have a conversation. Like, if he involves her in the conversation, cool, but I'm not trying to start no conversation with my homeboys' wives and girlfriends. For what? I'm here to see him. I'm here to see him. Women and children don't got nothing to do with what I got going on with you when I'm on that life. So all I can say to these young kids out here, man, if you thinking about getting involved in gangs or getting involved in the street life, even if you don't want to be a gang member, if you want to get involved in the street life, because it all comes with it. It all comes with it. Man, take a deep look at take a good deep look at what you're getting involved in and what it is. And it's not just about communities no more. It's not just about taking care of your community no more. It's actually about destroying your community now. For those that are doing it the way they're doing it these days. And remember that everything you do, whether good or bad, comes with a consequence. It comes with a consequence, and the consequence must be paid. Karma is a very fickle thing, and it demands its payment. At some point, it demands its payment. If everything goes as it should, that situation will resolve itself as it should be resolved. And I'm going to leave that at that. I'm not going to put my personal opinion on other people's business. I'm just bringing that up as a segue into talking about how the gang banging has changed these days. So if you got young kids, man, if you're a single mom or single dad, man, make sure you're paying attention, man. Make sure you're paying attention to what they're doing, who they hanging out with, and all of that. You got time. You got time. Don't say you don't have time. I work too much. No, you got time, because you wish you had more time. If you have to go look at a casket and your child is in it, then you'd wish you had more time. Then you'd want to make the time. So take the time now to pay attention to what your children are doing and make sure you're at least guiding them in the right direction. Obviously, when they get to a certain age, there's not much we can do, but let's start early. Guide them in the right position. Guide them in the right way. Don't show them it's okay to go outside and squabble up. That's not what it is no more. Kids is killing each other. They're not fighting. You know, it's not like let's go to the gym and put the gloves on no more. It's different, man. Y'all can listen to anybody y'all want to on the internet. I'm going to just tell you the truth, man. Stay loyal.